Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to Adam's TV Podcast. I am your host, Adam Samuel, and today we are talking some X Factor UK. We have finally gotten or revealed top 16 acts who are going to be competing in the live shows. We've seen some good acts make it through, some not so good acts make it through, but joining me to go through these last round of judges' houses, we have my co-host, Eric. How you doing, Eric?
I'm doing good. Honestly, I will say every judge got 3 out of 4 right. That's my feeling.
I'm inclined to agree for the most part. I think that there was always one. Every judge kind of had the one thing I would have maybe switched, but otherwise, as a whole, I think they got it mostly right. But Eric, I haven't watched this show in the past, and I wanted to ask you this question: how do you feel this group of contestants stacks up to previous seasons?
Okay, so depends on who you're comparing them to. Comparing to last year, there are two types of seasons on X Factor. For seasons where there's one contestant that's clearly far and away the best one, and everyone else is just there to fill the time. And then there are seasons where there's a more balanced bunch. I'd say this is one of the latter type seasons where it's a more balanced bunch, and I'd say it's stronger than last year, actually, I would say, and the year before.
All right. I was watching these episodes, and one thing that just kept standing out was, do they do something to the contestants' voices? Like when they sing, like I don't want to say this, but it sounded a little auto-tuned. Like I was listening, and there were some moments that just totally like they're talking in one way, and then when they start singing, their voice just sounds different. It sounds like it's been like something's been done with it. Did you kind of get that vibe too, or is that just me?
It's probably just you, honestly.
There were multiple points where this really stood out. There was the one guy, I think his name was Thomas. He's singing, and then he like says like a regular word, and it totally sounds like a shift. Like all of a sudden,
that's because he has an accent when he speaks and not when he sings.
No, it wasn't the accent. It was like the way his voice was sounding. Like to me, like I was almost getting the impression that these vocals had been edited, and that's something that just stood out to me. I have notes on it as it comes up. I'll point it out, but this is just something I noticed.
I didn't notice it.
Maybe it's just because the sound is more like focused on the microphone, and when when they're not singing, it's kind of their different microphones going around.
That's possible.
That's something, I don't know what it is. It's just something that really stood out to me. Like when they're standing and they're talking to the judges, they sound one way, and when they're singing, their voice just sounds different. It sounds like almost like a distance thing. Like if I'm talking to you now, you would notice a difference if I'm talking to you here and I have the mic. I don't know.
I get it. Okay.
All right. So this episode, we are going to actually be doing both the judges' houses. We are going to be recapping parts 2, 3, and 4. We're going to get through it really quickly because we want to get to our draft. We are going to be doing a draft at the end of this episode. There is a top 16. Eric and I are going to be going through. We're going to be building 2 teams of 8. And how does that sound to you, Eric?
Sounds good. I'll flip the coin later.
All right. So let's get into the group rounds first. So the first judge that we are going to be talking about, it's Robbie Williams, and he brings in his special mentor. I don't even know what they are. They're a consultant, someone just there for airtime. He has David Walliams from Britain's Got Talent, and I feel like he was just kind of filler. I mean, I feel like that's what the role of these other people. It's just someone. So I understand the point. It's because they want like Robbie or Simon. They want someone to talk to because they can't just kind of have no one there. Like if the contestants walks away, they're kind of just sitting there awkwardly, maybe talking to themselves with the camera, and they kind of want that extra person to bounce off with. But for me, none of these like extra mentors kind of added anything.
Well, Adam added something because I like seeing Adam on TV, but other than him.
All right, let's get up to our first act. We have LMA Choir. They are performing Hold Back the River by James Bay. And in my opinion, I wrote down they're good. Like, they're a strong group. This was the first instance with the girl that I was talking about. Like, she's singing, and then all of a sudden she's talking, and then she's singing, and it sounds totally different. Don't know what the case was for that. The first singer, though, also, she did sound pretty good, but there was that impression of me with the auto-tuning. If that was the case, I don't know. What did you think of them?
I don't think it is. My thing is, yeah, they're good, but I don't think choirs belong on X Factor. And they're not stellar enough to really change my mind on that. I feel like David Williams actually said it when he said, like, why didn't you go to Britain's Got Talent? Which is my question. Why didn't they go to Britain's Got Talent?
Because choirs don't win Got Talent shows.
They're not going to win X Factor either, though. So
I mean, for me, like they're a safe act. Like they're plenty pleasant to listen to. Like there's nothing wrong. I just feel like there's also we touched on this a lot in the past on America's Got Talent when we talk about the acts. Choirs, there's a difference between when it's one person and it's a lot of people, because there's one person has a story, and when it's like 10 people.
And actually, they did mention that. Do you notice that, right?
Yeah, I did a little bit. I feel like these guys really should have gone on Britain's Got Talent, though.
I totally agree.
All right. For me, as I was going through these episodes, I actually wrote down my list of like where I would rank them. So of all the acts, I actually placed them 5th. Is that far off from where you would place them of these 6 acts?
Then I'd place them 4th.
5th, I think, is for me where they kind of settle. But unless you have any final thoughts, we're gonna keep it going.
Let's keep going.
Let's move on to A star. I wrote down what kind of a name is that?
Well, for first names both start with A.
I know, but like,
and they had like 5 weeks to come up with a name.
I don't know. They are these young girls. They do a lot of rapping. I wrote they are good energy, but not getting anything really special here. I feel like I like that they're like very passionate, but I feel like at best they're just a fodder act. Do you agree?
They're not a fodder act. They got the golden X.
Still kind of you know the show better than me, but like if this was on like American Idol, I would feel like
I think they're mid-packers. I don't think they're total fodder, but I think they're not going to make it to the end.
Maybe it's just because I'm not that into rap music that they didn't kind of really.
Oh, I didn't like them either. I wasn't blown away at all, but I think they're mid-packers.
For me, I put them 6th of the
really
of my rankings. Okay. I didn't really get that much from them. I mean, they were kind of, in my opinion, the one that I would probably have cut if I was only cutting one of this group. I don't know. It's just not my genre, but they made it through. So it's funny. My 5th and 6th placers both made it through, which at that point I was like, oh no, this is bad. This is really bad.
Was Panda and Burgundy number 1?
Panda and Burgundy were number 2 for me, which
really?
Let's talk about them now. So we have.
I strongly disagree.
Panda and Burgundy, they perform "Ain't No Mountain High Enough." Who's this song by? Is it Aretha? I don't even think. Know it's by. I've heard so many versions of this song, like either on Idol or covers on YouTube. This is like such a hot song that people love to cover. I wrote in my notes, I remember Panda being a better singer than this. I remember her one audition when she sang the Sam Cooke in the X Factor America edition, but for me here she didn't have the same star power as I felt like she had back then. Like here she sang good, but it was not as blown away as I was. Maybe it was because they kind of like watered down her personality, because on the X Factor in America she was all personality. She was all like,
oh, she was here too.
She was, but kind of not as much. I don't know. What do you think?
They showed her personality in earlier rounds. Honestly, my thing was something was really off at the start. It got better as it went along. I still would have put them through, but they were honestly like number 4 for me.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of happened with these rounds. I don't know how it works, but there's something kind of gets lost in the translation when this round kind of happens. Like some people kind of rise, some people kind of fall, and it's kind of just the luck of the draw with certain aspects of it. For me, I mean, I think they still should have made it through, though. I had them at number 2 on my out of 6 ranking.
Okay.
I mean, other notes that I had. This is a point I wanted to make. I felt like should they have made it through, they would have been shoehorned into being like a retro kind of singer. Like they would have been constantly being given like the Whitney Houston songs, and which is kind of unfair, but that's kind of like they love to kind of put people into like typecasts on the show. Like they have the pop singer, they have the reggae singer, like all these shows kind of do it. On American Idol does it. That was kind of the vibe I was getting with this act. And had that been the case, I don't see them making top 6.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts on them? Do you think we'll see Panda again, or is this the end of her?
I think they're both done.
They're both done forever. I like them. They were good. I don't know what happened.
Sorry.
Let's keep it going. We move on now to Vibe 5. They are 5 boys who are manufactured into a group. I believe they were all cut. Is that correct, Eric?
They were all cut for like a second, and then they were brought together.
Yes, and today on the episode they were performing "Say You Won't Let Go," one of my favorite songs. In the past, I've seen so many acts on the X Factor that are kind of getting manufactured into these groups. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. For them, I feel like some of it worked, some of it kind of didn't. There was a lot of, with one person who I was noticing a lot of awkward glances, like just, I don't know if that was just me kind of. I feel like there's a little bit of greenness to them still. Like they're not kind of, maybe they just need a little bit more time to gel. But I feel like right now it's still kind of in like the fetus stage where it's not kind of fully developed into what it can be. Do you think I'm making any sense, Eric?
Sort of. I mean, the thing is, the song choice was bad for me because actually, I'm sure you know James Arthur won X Factor.
Okay.
You didn't know that?
Nah, I didn't.
Know that?
I think I know Matt Terry.
No, the guy who's saying "Say You Won't Let Go" won the X Factor.
I was confused. All right, he won the X Factor.
So it was his big hit, and he's so much better than them, all of them, obviously. But they can all sing well enough, at least, and harmonies seemed okay. So I'm not mad they went through.
Yeah, I wrote that some singers in this group I feel are much better than others. There was like one or two that I was like, okay, you're the good ones. You're good. The others are kind of...
And you're eye candy.
I guess that's kind of what they were going for. Other notes, just a random little thing I noticed. Why are all these bands that are kind of manufactured by Simon Cowell, why do they all have numbers in their names? Fifth Harmony, One Direction, Vibe 5, Sixth Sense. Like they all kind of...
No, it wasn't Sixth Sense. It was Sweet Sense.
Oh, I wrote down in my notes Sixth Sense.
You wrote down Sixth Sense because of a movie. That's great. Okay.
So that's actually not that bad of a name, Sixth Sense.
It would have actually wouldn't have been any worse than Sweet Sense. Okay.
All right, let's. It's really awkward. Let's talk about Sweet Sense. They didn't audition together. They kind of get manufactured into a group, and they perform "History" by One Direction. And if I'm starting to take anything from this episode, it's that if you want to make it far on the X Factor UK, don't audition as a group, because of the acts that are in our top 6, only 3 of them started out auditioning as groups. Like, why do the groups always need like these? I feel like they purposely cut people to have these manufactured groups. And I feel like all the people who probably originally auditioned as groups are just...
Only 2 of them came into the competition.
How crazy is that? It's because they purposely want room for this like story of the bringing the contestants together. And I feel bad. Like the groups deserve better. Like why are we cutting all these groups that come into the competition?
I don't think any of them were cut were memorable to me, but
I don't know. That's just a stray noted thing that I noticed. Of this group, there was only really one girl that really stood out to me. I mean, she did this like ad lib. It kind of gave me hints of like Camila Cabello, but otherwise,
yeah, I got a little bit of that too. But some of them could sing, but harmonies kind of bugged me actually for some reason.
Yeah, I don't understand like why, if this girl is good, if there's like 5 singers, 4 of them are duds and one of them is really good, why do we need to like why can't we just put her through like originally? Like why she was probably cut because Simon Cowell had in his mind like this girl should be in a group. But I feel like that's the wrong path to go. I feel instead it should be cut the duds, put those good singers in, and I don't know. It's just my opinion. Do you think?
I'm fine with it, honestly. Let's get to my favorite act of the season.
All right, we are moving on to really quickly. Misunderstood. They get the pimp spot of the this batch.
It's meaningless, by the way. The pimp spot in this round.
They're what?
The pimp spot in this round is totally meaningless.
Well, yeah, but is it everyone who got the pimp spot didn't make it through? Everyone who did get it Got it.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So they perform an original song. I actually kind of like the original song. It was strong. I didn't think it was the best. I feel like I don't know if these guys are winner material, but I do think they are top 6, top 5 contender material. Do you agree?
I think you're dead wrong. I think right now, as it stands, they're the favorites, and they should be. And I think that they've done 3 original songs so far. All 3 of them have been catchy. The vocals are phenomenal, or at least were great. They can dance. They have presence. I just think they're stars, and I think they're my favorite act of the season. And I know that it's a little surprising, but wait till you see them sing Jealous by Labyrinth later in the season, because they obviously will, because they covered it on YouTube. And I watched all the top 24 sing songs on YouTube before the season started, and their cover was by far the best of the entire top 24. So we will see. I think they're going to win at this point.
I think there's no denying that these, at the very least, these are the standouts, the taking point from this group of groups. I mean, they're good. I think they are the standout. For me, I rank them number 1. Since we've gotten through them all, I'll just say my number 1 was Misunderstood. Number 2 is Panda and Burgundy. 3 was Vibe 5. 4 was 6 Cents. 5 was LMA Choir. 6 was A Star. This group, this batch of groups, it wasn't really that great for me. I mean, nothing really.
Except for Misunderstood, they weren't that great.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think Misunderstood is the star here.
The chosen group, yes.
The chosen group. Do you have any final thoughts on these the group acts before we kind of get on to the boys?
Let's get to the boys.
All right, so we move on to the boys. This is Louis' group. He has 6 guys. They all perform. They actually get this segment where they all go, I think, like they go out car driving, but it's like dune buggies kind of things. I wrote down, this is just filler, really. And he brings in Nile Rodgers and Liam Payne. Did you have any notes for those 2 guys? Did they do a good job? What'd you think?
I don't really listen to what you guys touches. Honestly, I thought David Williams at least made me laugh twice, so good for him. When he said, "The people with souls hate this part, but Simon loves it."
I love that line. That was great. All right. So let's start getting into the boys. So first up, we have Dalton Harris. He performs "Listen" by Beyonce. And I wrote down, in hindsight, my favorite singer of both episodes, I think. This was a pretty good performance. Do you agree?
Dalton's had 3 great performances so far, honestly. He is probably my favorite boy.
Yes,
I don't think he's going to win. What?
I agree. I think he is the star of the boy group.
I don't think he's going to go the furthest to all the boys, but I think he should. I think that I like the arrangement was a little different than the song was always sung. Also, he actually took it like down for the first chorus a bit and then built it up. So his vocal, his rhymes and stuff are just always amazing to me. He's my favorite guy, definitely. I mean, he's had a couple of great performances. His audition was probably my favorite audition, or one of my favorite auditions.
I mean, I'm just judging him on this, and I thought this was really good. He's kind of got all the makings of a strong contestant on these shows. He's got a strong voice. He has a story. He has a pretty likable personality. I think he's kind of a producer's like dream contestant to pimp. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the top 5. Maybe.
I think he'll make the top 4, honestly. I do.
All right, let's keep it going. We have Armstrong. He's performing "I'll Be There for You," also known as the theme song from Friends. And I actually kind of like this rendition. It
really?
Kind of took me, like, I was listening to it, and there was like a part of me that was like a little bit distracted by the fact that this is the Friends song. But then once I could kind of get past that fact, I appreciate the song flip. I think this was a risk of a song. And I wanted to give him points on that because I think that's bold.
The arrangement was good, but his voice really bugs me. I'll be honest.
Yeah, the voice wasn't I was more talking about like the arrangement of the song.
Oh, the arrangement was great. but the vocal was problematic. I wouldn't have put him through.
On my notes, like at the start, like as soon as I heard the first like opening lines, I wrote down WTF. Like what? Like this should not be happening, but it kind of worked. Like I would like to see this arrangement with like maybe some other contestant because I just thought it was pretty good. But otherwise, I felt like he was pretty much fodder. An act that's probably I expected him to be cut. I think on my rankings he was 5th, but he actually made it in.
He was number 6 for me.
And he made it in, which was a bit of a surprise. I would have probably bounced him for one person, but otherwise, good for him. I mean,
okay.
I would hope.
Thomas?
What?
What'd you think of Thomas?
Oh, we're moving on. We're moving on to Thomas Pound. This was one of the cases where I kind of was getting another of the vibe of like the singer sounds a little different. Like they're talking, and then all of a sudden they start singing. And their voice just sounds different. I don't know.
Oh, Thomas, do you know that he was a drag queen in his audition?
I did not know that.
He was, so he's appeared as both himself and as a drag persona. So, in 2 different rounds. So,
I mean, his personality seems a little bit like it might get grating. Like right now, it seems like people would be okay with it, but I feel like going forward, it might a little bit. But for now, I thought it was a strong performance. I thought it was good. Did you?
Here's the thing. He's got a great voice, and I knew that from a first audition. But this is the first time I think he's truly shown off how good of a voice he's got. And I was a little torn about him taking it up tempo halfway through. But then I realized because he's like a drag person, that's the type of thing he'd do in the real world. So I thought it was his best performance so far by a mile, and I'm actually mad that he got cut after it.
I haven't heard this song before. Who's it by? Do you know the artist?
I know that I've heard the song. I don't know who.
It's like a disco.
It's very disco.
Oh.
When he took it up tempo halfway through, that's what the song was.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. He was in my top. I put him 3rd on my group list.
I would put him 3rd as well, actually.
There you go. I mean, I think he was a good singer, and he is the one contestant that I feel we kind of took a hit by losing here.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to Jaisal. He is performing "Love on the Brain," which is
overdone.
For a lot of singers, I would recommend it, even though it is overdone because it is such a good vocal showcase. It can get a little bit over singy. But for me, Jaisal, this performance, I did not like the start of it. He kind of was singing and then stopping and having like the background singer sing over, which I guess was like a shtick he was kind of going for. Didn't really work for me. As a whole, it was. I've heard better, is all I can say. What did you think?
Here's my thing. He's good, but Dalton is way better and in the same genre. And parts were a little bit breathy, so I'm not mad he got cut at all.
Yeah, I don't know what I would have suggested him to do. I mean,
not that.
What would you think? What's some?
I mean, the thing is, last round he was pretty good. I thought based on where he stood for first 2 auditions, I thought he was a shoo-in for the top 4. But this wasn't good, so I don't know.
I don't know either. Let's keep it going, shall we?
Let's.
I just also want to say at this point, I wrote down in my notes, this is a much better group than the last group. Like I at this point I was like, pretty good group. Do you agree or do you think not?
What do you think of Anthony?
Next up we have Anthony. He performs. What was the song he performed?
Scars.
It was Scars. I feel like he has a story to tell. Like I didn't watch his audition, so I don't know. Which I kind of like that. I'm kind of getting that opportunity to just kind of judge them based on their the what have you got for me today kind of viewpoint. I wrote down, in my opinion, this was a strong performance, but this is also a really strong group. So I was kind of a little nervous that he would maybe get cut and maybe be that shock boot. I
liked him.
I did like him. I think it was a good performance. I want to ask you though, Eric, because I don't know. What is his story that he has?
So he went on the show last year and he dropped out. Actually, he made it to Dutch's house last year and he dropped out because he was having some issues with drugs and stuff, I'm assuming. And then Louis Tomlin, or some issues with him, and he dropped out. And then Louis Tomlinson actually reached out to him and helped him out a bit and invited him to come back on the show this year. So
that's nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice story. Yeah. That's kind of cool. If I had known that, I would have definitely thought he was going through. I was thinking he would probably be like the shot cut, but I guess
I was thinking that he might be actually, but I wasn't.
He's good. I think of my rankings, I put him 4th on my rankings. So
I put him fourth as well.
Yeah, that's kind of where I stand on him. He's good. I think he might kind of get a little lost in the shuffle, like as the season kind of goes through, just because there are some better singers than him. He's kind of, in my opinion, of our top 16, he's probably right around the eighth spot, or like. So who knows? Maybe he could turn it around. I think at this point, though, he's fighting at best for 5th place.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. So next up, we have the episode kind of ends like a little abruptly right there. Does the show usually do that?
No, but
all right. So we kind of the next episode starts and we get Brandon Murray. He performs, what song was it? Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor, which is actually a song I really, really like, made famous by, in my opinion, I know it's by Prince and Sinead O'Connor. I remember it most for the first time I heard it from Maddie Poppy. Really strong, I wrote. Very strong performance. What did you think?
The thing is, I like Brendan's voice a lot because it's very different from anyone else's voice on the radio right now. It stands out. I don't think this was his best performance of the season, but yeah, he's probably going to go first of all the guys, I think.
I wrote down that I honestly, in my opinion, I put Dalton first, Brendan second, but that too is kind of interchangeable for me because I feel like Brendan kind of has some more ability to go a little further. I think he's going to maybe get a little bit more votes, but they're both really, those are the two takeaways in my opinion. We have Brandon and Dalton from this group. I think Brendan might go further. I haven't watched the show, but I think he's a winner contender. I think he's got a shot.
I'm not going to give you my card, but for a draft later, I'm waffling between 2 acts.
All right, so that is our group of boys. My ranking is Dalton, Brendan, Thomas, Anthony, Armstrong, J-Sol. Would have bounced Thomas? Would have bounced Armstrong for Thomas. Otherwise,
totally.
I think they got it pretty much
right.
We're
on the same page for this category.
Yes. Let's keep it going, shall we? We have our last part. We have this is
the overs. We can speak.
How do you pronounce her name? It's Ada. Is that her name?
I don't know. Ida.
I don't know.
Ida is how Booming's voiceover guy pronounces her name.
I just keep thinking of Ada from American Idol this past season. I don't know.
And the overs.
All right, so we're moving on to the overs. She brings in Adam Lambert and Leona Lewis. One thing that I did want to mention, bit of a tangent, going back to the group rounds for Robbie Williams, was that his actual house? Because I kept getting a little confused. It
might be because they're married, so it makes sense that it's the same house.
Yeah, that's what I kept thinking. It's because I don't know if that was just like continuity purposes or because like
either it's continuity purposes or it is their actual house.
Because this is a really nice house.
In the same house.
Of these 4 houses that we've seen for this round, I would go with their house. Their house looks the nicest. Do you agree?
Whatever.
All right, so first up, we have Ola, who is performing an original song, also called Ola. I just wrote down, what did you think of this performance?
So this is your first experience with the semi-joke act on X Factor. The problem is, he's not Reggie and Bowie level bad. He's not good. He's probably our joke act for the year, like our novelty, like fun type act that's like there just to have all the dancers and production around him. Problem is, I don't think he's a bad enough singer to be funny.
I don't know. I don't know how he made it through. I mean, I watched this and I was like, all right, you're clearly going home. And then he made it through, and I was like, oh.
Factor, there's always one.
There's always one. This is just maybe the Simon Cowell formula where they just always have like the one act. It happens with America's Got Talent. Now with this show, they always let through that like.
There have been a couple of actually really funny bad contestants making it through. Ola's not in that tradition.
All right. For me, Eh. I mean, he
I
seems
would
like
still
a
rank him
very.
6th. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, let's
All
keep
right.
going.
Let's move on. Next up, we have Janice Robinson. She's performing Love is in the Atmosphere. Pretty strong voice, I wrote down. What did you think?
I think if it overwins the show, it'll be her, but I don't think she's going to win.
I don't think she's going to win either. I feel like she might, unfortunately, take the Panda and Burgundy spot of, maybe getting shoehorned into some songs that might not be the best for her to try and sell.
I don't think it's that. I think she'll just glide away gently, honestly. I think she'll finish at most 6th.
Yeah, I don't think. Maybe this group of overs kind of wasn't standing out the most to me. I feel like
the overs I think were the weakest category.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she's good. I just don't see people getting excited for her. Like when I'm watching, I've now watched 3 episodes of The X Factor, and there are some contestants I'm a little bit excited for, and Janice just isn't one of them. Is all I can really say.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna keep it going?
Yeah, let's talk about Ricky.
Next up, we have Ricky Johns. He's performing When a Man Loves a Woman. And whenever I hear this song, I always think of on American Idol, Joshua Ledet.
Oh, right.
Doing
that was my brain there, like Michael Johnson.
As he was singing, like I was still in my head, like playing the affectations and like the ad libs that Joshua would add.
I was playing the Melinda Doolittle clip where she stands up and starts running around the coffee table.
Still one of the best performances on Idol, in my opinion. For this performance, I wrote. He does mention that as he finishes singing, that he wasn't happy with the performance, and that's a bad sign right there. What did you think of the performance?
He's right not to be happy with it because I haven't been blown away by. He's got a decent voice, but I haven't been blown away by a single one of his performances. He got the Golden X last round, by the way,
and he didn't make it through this round.
He's the only person who got the Golden X to not make it through.
Yes. Not really much to say here. I feel like it's kind of a... You get what you get.
Thought he was cut. I'm like, why?
I was like... There were more memorable names of these contestants, is what I can say.
Yeah. What do you think of Louise? Let's talk about her.
All right, let's talk about Louise. She has a story. She's one of the few contestants where we kind of get a lot of the story, at least this round. I don't know if you guys saw it in the earlier rounds. Her husband passed away, and she's like a very emotional, like kind of she's gonna pick a song that's gonna go right at the heartstrings, and she goes with "Piece by Piece" by Kelly Clarkson. I really liked it. Did you?
What?
I liked it.
How?
I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was a mess.
I thought the emotion came through.
I thought it was a mess. I'm sorry. And I love Kelly. The first line was pitchy. She screwed up all of the lyrics, and then she broke down at the end. I honestly thought that based on prior performances, she might have deserved to go through. But honestly, I would have totally sent her home after this. I thought it was a mess. I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna agree with you. I think it wasn't the best.
A lot of people aren't agreeing with me, it seems. A lot of people really wanted her to go through. I'm like, I don't see it. I didn't care for her at all, honestly. Yeah,
I was kind of shocked that she didn't make it through, honestly. Like,
I'm not. I mean, I'm a little surprised, but I'm not shocked.
I will say though, these group of contestants, like, there's the overs kind of weren't doing it for me that much. Is all I can really say.
Totally.
All right, let's keep it going. We got 2 more contestants left. Blowing through them. All right, we have Giovanni Spano. Spano? How do you pronounce his name?
Spano. I don't know.
He's performing Use Somebody by Kings of Leon. And what'd you think?
His best performance so far. His soft voice is much weaker than the rest of his voice. I'm sure you noticed that. His performance started out weak, ended weak. The middle of it was pretty strong. The problem with him is that he's come across pretty cocky in previous rounds. So I think it's going to be an issue for him. I think the personality is going to be holding him back.
I'm going to agree. I think that is a pretty fair assessment. The performance I thought was okay. I thought it was
okay.
It wasn't the best. I wasn't getting excited about him. Like there was nothing like that. I was like, oh, I could really get behind. Like I feel like for a lot of people, he's not going to be their number one. Like he might not
Here's my
even be their
thing.
number two or three.
Knowing what I know, I think he's first to go next weekend.
What do you know?
I don't know anything more than you know, but I've been watching the whole season, and I think he's the first one to go.
All right. Well, then let's move on to our final contestant. Shall we, Eric?
Let's talk about Danny.
All right. We have Daniel Tetley. Is that
Tetley.
right? All right. He performs Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I really liked it. This was a pretty good performance. What did you think?
By several miles, his best performance so far in this competition.
I especially like where he mentioned that he was on
Pop Idol.
Pop Idol, which is kind of like when I hear that name, I think of the meme from Titanic where the old lady says it's been 84 years like since I've heard that name. Like you don't hear the mention of Pop Idol much
because it only lasted 2 years.
But you know what it birthed? It birthed American Idol, so I can't fault it. He's probably another of the standout. Let's see, is he? Yeah, I think he's the standout of the overs. Do you agree?
I'd say Janice overall has had more pimpage, so I think she's a standout. But I think he's making a run for it. I think this is the first performance that if he keeps delivering like this, he could possibly make it to like top 6. That's the best he could do. But yeah,
I guess. But we'll see. I think all the overs are probably out by top 7.
top 8.
Top 8. I feel like they're probably like the first ones to go. I just don't see them kind of getting the pull to really stick around.
Totally.
But we get to the results. We kind of touched on them. We lose Louise and Ricky.
Yep.
Pretty much. I mean, all right. And those are our 3 episodes. What did you think of these? They're not 3 episodes. I keep saying they're 3 episodes. It's the 3 batches. What did you think about these groups of episodes?
Overall, I thought there were a couple of strong performances, enough to get me invested in the rest of the season. So I'll say. All
right. So I guess we are going to move on to our draft. Eric, I'm going to throw it over to you. You are going to do the ceremonial coin flip on your end. And I just want to say for the record that you and we are tied right now. I have won American Idol the draft with Maddie Poppy. You have won the America's Got Talent with Shin Lim. So this is the tiebreaker round right here.
For 2018 it is. Yep.
For 2018. So will you do the official coin flip?
Heads or tails?
I am going to go with heads.
Okay, tails. Hey Siri, flip a coin.
Tails.
I win.
All right, so Eric is going to go first. We are going to be doing this like a bit of a back and forth. He's going to pick. I'm going to pick back until we each have a team of 8. So, Eric, who is your number 1 pick?
Misunderstood.
All right. Eric is going with Misunderstood. Why? Explain yourself. Tell me why.
I think, as I said, they just have it. The songs are catchy. The vocals are great. They can dance. They're stars. They've charted on iTunes already in the UK. I think they're the bookies' favorite at the moment, which helps. But yeah, I think they could win. I'm not entirely confident, which is why I'm hoping I get my 2nd place as well. But we'll see.
I am kind of putting together a list a little last minute, so don't mind me if I'm a little focused on my papers. I think it's a good pick. I don't know if they'll win. I'm not so sure. I mean, they're good. Don't get me wrong. I think it is a strong first pick. I just don't know. And
who's your first pick?
Say. So my first pick is going to be Brendan. I think
God damn it.
I think he is the strongest person of the male category, and I believe the male category is the strongest group. So that's just my pick. I think he's got it. He's kind of. I just have one question, and that's: does he play guitar? Because that'll seal the deal.
He does not play guitar.
Ooh,
but
does he play?
That's not a thing on X Factor. Here's my thing. He was my 2nd place. So He was my number 2 on my top 16. So I'm waffling. I was waffling honestly between Misunderstood and Brendan.
I'm glad I got him. I think he's a winner
I'm
contender.
glad you got him because now my backup plan is like you're in your possession. So let's get going.
All right, so it is your turn. You have the next pick. Who are you going with?
I'm waffling again. Shan.
Eric is going with Shan. Yeah, I don't know if she can win. I don't know.
I don't think so either, but people like her. She's marketable. She's got a good look, great presence, good voice. She wrote a decent song. I don't think she's going to win, but I think the winner is either going to be Misunderstood or Brendan. So at this point, we're just playing for
I don't know. You never know with this. Well, I don't know this show, so who knows? I think I honestly think there's some better picks maybe than Shan, but
I'm going based on my gut.
All right, so I'm going to pick next, and I'm going to go with. I said Brendan was the strongest of the boys. I think they are the strongest category, so I'm going to go with my number 2 pick from the boys, Dalton. I'm going to go with Dalton.
He's my number 4.
Yes, so Brendan and Dalton, I think these are some really good singers. I feel like once we start, I feel like we each got 2 people on our team. Once we get past like the third placers, I think it's going to get a little bit messy because there's just kind of,
Yeah.
All right, so Dalton, I don't know if he'll win. I think he is behind Brendan in the winner's potential, but I think he is still definitely someone who has a shot of making top finale. I don't know. Is the finale top 3, top 2?
It's top 3.
Do they announce the third placer early and
yes,
then?
They do.
All right. So yeah, that is. I'm pretty happy with my first 2 picks. Who is going to be your third pick?
Tough. See, when we started this, I had something completely different. I'm just based on hype. Scarlett.
Ooh, she was my pick. I was gonna go with Scarlett next. Why are you going with Scarlett? Explain.
I was waffling between her and Janice, actually. I think
really like
Scarlett's got the best. Scarlett's got the best voice in her category and boatloads of personality. But what I can tell, people haven't really gotten excited about her yet. She's my personal favorite girl, but I'm worried about her. But I don't know.
It's kind of. I think she's a solid pick. I think she is.
Just pick one more and we can be done. And if either of us get it, we can.
No, we are finishing this.
Okay.
I think Scarlett is good. I would have picked her. That's all I can say. I don't think she'll win. I think top 5 is kind of where this journey best ends. Do you think?
Probably, yeah.
All right. So now it is my turn. It's funny. You're kind of picking the girls. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the third best guy again. I'm gonna go with Anthony. So he's still kind of lost in the shuffle, but I think he does have some potential to maybe make a bit of a difference. It's funny. I have almost all of the boy category. I think he could maybe win, like in some kind of situation.
I'll tell you, at one point he was the favorite.
Who knows? Maybe he could kind of bounce back.
Probably not. But
all right.
Yeah.
So who is going to be your next pick?
I'm waffling again. I'm actually gonna switch it. I'm gonna say A-star.
A-star. All right. Why are you picking A-star?
Honestly, solely because they've gotten a lot of pimpage. Both of their solo auditions were shown. They were put together at the audition round. They got the Golden X. They have presence. They're not the type of music I listen to, but yeah, I think they can go far at least.
I'm gonna agree, and the overs kind of continue to be entirely ignored, which is
The more I think about it, the further down I move Janice. So
yeah, so I guess it's gonna be my pick next. Oh, this is where we start getting to a little bit murky grounds, but I'm gonna go with Danny. I think Danny is one of the standouts of two of the group of the overs, and I don't think he could win, but I think he could go far. Maybe. Do you think?
Sure.
I did like his performance, but I think as a whole he is going to run into some trouble because of just the fact that people just won't maybe get excited for him. Do you think?
Okay.
All right, who's your next pick?
I'm switching it again. Vibe 5.
Vibe 5 goes to Eric. I would have gone with them next, honestly. I think they're good. I don't think like I said earlier, I think they're a little bit green.
The only reason I think that I'm even picking them at all is because One Direction didn't stand out at all at this point either. So
you never know. But we'll see. I don't know what we're going to expect from them. They're a little bit of a wild card in my opinion. Maybe they could come out with something amazing. Maybe they'll just crash and burn the first round. Who knows? For me, I am going to go – this is where it gets really hard. Should I go with Janice? I know you kind of want Janice, so I guess I'm going to go with Molly. I'm going to take Molly on my team. Do you think that's a good pick at this point, or do you think she's
I think actually Molly's a stronger pick than Janice.
I wrote down in my notes. I actually went back to add this because she reminds me of like the girl, like the young girl in every horror movie who's like wide-eyed and goes into the cellar where the monster is, and you know it's just not going to end well, and you keep yelling at your screen like, "No, you got to do something different." I feel like that's how Molly is going to be. Like she's this little wide-eyed girl who's kind of stepping into this fire of something that's going to be a whole lot more than she might be able to handle, and I think it's going to swallow her. But I think I'm still interested in maybe seeing where this goes. Do you think is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
All right, so we're mostly through the group. Who is your next pick?
So you pick Molly, I'll pick Janice.
All right, Janice probably would have been my next pick too. Why'd you go with her?
Because she has gotten a lot of screen time actually. And she's got a great voice, and I think she is the only over with a shot at winning. So.
I don't know about that. I don't think any of
the overs have a shot at winning, but she's the only over with a shot at making the finale.
All right. I guess at this point, I'm going to go next with LMA Choir, I guess.
Really?
At this point, we're kind of getting down to the dregs a little bit, but I think they are fun. I might enjoy watching them a little bit. And that's really all I have to say.
Okay. So I'm going to pick Ola.
Oh, I was going to pick Ola next. I wanted the contestant like that. A solid pick at this point.
But yeah, next.
I really wish I could have picked Georgia because she was really good. I'm just this is
okay. We're down to 3 left.
We're down to 3 left. Who are the 3? There's
Bella, Armstrong, and Giovanni.
I guess I'll go with Giovanni. I guess I'll take Giovanni.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's. Who's your next pick?
Bella.
That would have been my next pick also.
I put Bella at number 14.
Yeah, I think she might be in a bit of trouble next round. So that means the last contestant is Armstrong. All right. So let's just really quickly recap. My team is Brendan, Dalton, Anthony, Danny, Molly, LMA Choir, Giovanni, and Armstrong. And Eric has – who do you have, Eric?
Misunderstood, Shan, Scarlett, A-Star, Vibe 5, Janice,
Ola,
and Bella.
Yeah, this – I feel like once we get past like both of our third placers, I feel like there's a pretty clear top 6, I think, that's really kind of playing for the win. Otherwise, everyone else is kind of just fodder. There. And I feel like for my first impression, this is still a strong group, I will say. I do still think this is a strong batch of contestants. I just don't know how this is going to shake up. I will say though, I'm pleasantly like interested in the show. Like I'm invested in Brendan, Dalton, and Anthony, and Scarlett too. Those are, in my opinion, my four. Everyone else is kind of. Also, Molly. We'll say Molly too. I am interested in seeing how this journey kind of goes for her.
She's flown under the radar for the vast majority of the competition. So
who knows? You never know. And on that note, do you have any final things you want to touch on, Eric, on the episodes of our draft? Anything?
Nope. I mean, honestly, I'll be happy if either of the first picks win. So
I'm so happy I got Brendan. I had a feeling you were maybe going to go for him, but
I was totally going to go for him.
Yeah. And on that note, that's kind of going to be our episode, guys. We are going to be back next week. We are going to recap the next episode. What's kind of on the schedule for the X Factor UK this week, Eric?
This week is the first live show on Saturday night of the UK, Saturday afternoon here. All 16 acts perform, and on Sunday we have the results.
Is it a judge's cut or a viewer voted cut?
It changes every year, honestly. I have no idea how it's going to work. All I know is at least 2 contestants will be going home. Up to 4. At least 2, up to 4.
Wait, so we're going to go from a top 16 to like a top 14?
At a minimum.
I would think like a top 12 and then there's like one wild card kind of thing.
No, it depends on how they do it. I'm hoping they don't do it like last year where they basically stole the voices thing of doing like, starting out with a lot of contestants and doing the bloodbath at the end.
How many people were cut last week? Like how many did they go? They had 16. Where did they go to from after that?
Last year, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, last year they did 16, 14, 12, 10, 6, 3, 2, 1.
Do you know how many episodes we're gonna get like for these shows?
We have 7 weeks of live shows,
including the top 16 round.
Yes.
I mean that's not terrible. I mean that's 6 weeks minus the first episode. So that means if you cut 2 a week,
that wouldn't be enough. But
that's not enough. That's
actually 1 second.
You go 10, 8.
Oh,
6.
Yeah, it is enough. 2 a week, and then you just have a bloodbath at the end from 6 to 3. Yeah.
I do also remember from the X Factor and the America rendition where they would actually reveal their votes. Do they do that for the show?
Last year they did. They didn't reveal everything, but they revealed the top act. They had a completely weird format last year, so.
I remember this one girl who sang last year who I was really liking. She sang "Creep," and she sang "Closer." She sang guitar. She had a guitar.
2 years ago. Emily
Middlemass. Yes. I liked her. Ago. She was really good. I remember watching videos of her. She was good. Did she win? Yeah. No. I guess she didn't win, did she?
She got 4th.
That's not bad. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, decent.
My favorites usually don't do that great. But yeah, like I said, I'm kind of excited. I'm enjoying the show. This has been a pretty good experience so far. You got me hooked a little bit, Eric, is all I can say.
Once you get the live shows are the best part every year.
The live shows are the best show of part of everything.
Obviously, but I feel like X Factor does the live shows pretty damn well lately.
All right,
I feel like the production's pretty great. It's not over the top at the beginning anymore. It's a little over the top, but it's less over the top than it was. And yeah, I'm just now that Idol doesn't do studio recordings, the X Factor is the best one.
Do they do? They do studio recordings?
No, they don't do full studio recordings. They do rehearsal recordings.
Oh well, that's still kind of bad.
It's better than having to rely on the actual show recordings where there's audiences screaming over everything.
I remember that. I remember like downloading some CC Fry performances back in the day. And there'd be like a screeching banshee like yell in the background like every 3 seconds.
You actually downloaded CC's performances?
I loved CC back then. I was full on the train for CC Fry. I remember thinking like going into top six, I was thinking like, all right, if we cut Diamond White and Fifth Harmony, she can maybe squeeze into the top 4. I was a little delusionally hopeful.
I love CC Fry too because of my sign. She's the reason I have the sign.
She was there. There's rare times when like I'm so like a little bit disconnected from a season that I just start rooting for like the totally like the vote for the worst kind of pick. That was me that season. And just out of curiosity, Eric, who would be our vote for the worst pick this season? I think I know who it would be.
It's Ola.
Yeah, definitely. And God damn it, I want him to do well too. I'm so mad I didn't get him on my job. But otherwise, on that note, I want to say I am Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at AdamSoapbox or on my 2 websites, AdamSoapbox.com and AdamCVblog.com. Where can we find you, Eric?
EricAscher.com, Eric_Ascher on Twitter. I'm on YouTube. And I'll have my actual top 16 power list posted shortly after this episode.
All right. Hopefully Brandon, right? Brandon, yeah?
Yeah.
Hopefully he's number 1. I feel like he's probably going to end up being number 2, right?
He's 100% number 2.
We'll see, Eric. All right. And on that note, we will see you guys next week. Hopefully my
I was
draft
waffling,
picks.
though. I'll be honest. I was flip-flopping up until the last second.
Yeah, I just hope that my draft picks do just slightly better than all yours. I hope that everyone does well, but my guys,
I think we do actually have the top 2. The question, it's a coin flip at this point.
All right. Well, on that note, like I said, see you guys next week. This was fun. Eric, thank you so much for joining me today. Pleasure going over these acts with you. And on that note, peace. Bye.
Bye.